This ongoing reckoning of policing continues across the country, with new reports of alleged racial profiling incidents drawing important scrutiny. Stories that offer a factual contrast to emerging defense by Trump officials like Bill Barr, who denies systemic racism as evidence, points to certain data, and he's been pointing to some data on a subset of police killings.
I don't agree that there's systemic racism in the police department. The fact is that these events are fortunately quite rare. According to statistics compiled by the Washington Post, the number of unarmed black men killed by police so far this year is 8.
Barr may be arguing that he thinks 8 is not a large number, but that same Washington Post source actually found 976 total people shot and killed by police in the past year, with black Americans killed at more than twice the rate of white Americans. So the disparities in killings are documented. But this also goes beyond horrific killings. The scrutiny on systemic racism does go, of course, beyond the most extreme thing an officer could possibly do, kill someone, to also probe how racial profiling and racism can infect many parts of policing, from when police choose to de-escalate or escalate, to when they give people a break on a technicality instead of throwing the book at them, to whom the police stop in the first place. Like this new video of Colorado police pulling over a black woman and taking some escalating measures, like ordering 4 children at gunpoint to lie face down in the parking lot, leading to this scene. Those are children. You can hear and see yourself what happened. A witness describing the moments leading up to that stop.
I saw a car next to me with 4 girls in it. Feet were up on the dash. It was real cute. And next thing I know, the police pull up silently behind them and had guns drawn on the children.
The officers say they were investigating a stolen vehicle. The department, though, has already apologized. They say this was mistaken identity. Here's reaction from 2 of the women in the car who were pulled over and handcuffed.
That's police brutality. I don't give a damn what nobody say. That's police brutality.
It's like they don't care. Who am I going to call when my life is in danger?
A life in danger. Now, we've been hearing these types of stories for decades in America. The documented concern that for many communities of color, it is the police who pose the danger. Now, that's an incident there regarding local police. There's also scrutiny on Trump administration officials in the Secret Service who detained these 2 mothers who were then surrounded at gunpoint. They were handcuffed. They were detained without the legally required Miranda rights warning, according to the Washington Post. And adding to the cruelty, they were then stuck like that for 45 minutes. The Post reporting babies wailing in the back seat of the car. One of the women pulled over says she could have been another Breonna Taylor, another innocent woman shot. She went on to say she thought the police are here to protect and serve, and now it's really uncomfortable having lived through that. The federal officers in that totally separate case, guess what? They offered the same defense we heard from Colorado police. Mistaken identity. They were pursuing a stolen car. The data shows these are not just incidents. This happens all the time in pockets of America, large and small, and yes, places run by both political parties. Consider the largest police force in the nation, the NYPD, which stopped hundreds of thousands of black people annually. The vast majority were not accused of anything, never even arrested, let alone convicted. These numbers add up. They are the documented, widespread American reality. And it is far different from these attempts you may hear to cherry pick a small subset from the most extreme tragedies of killings to assure Americans, as Bill Barr did under oath, that what you keep seeing, what you keep hearing about is some sort of, quote, rarity that barely occurs.
The fact is that these events are fortunately quite rare.
There is nothing rare about this wider documented reports of profiling, of police stopping and detaining people without charges or systemic bias. The only question, as we continue to live through this year of national reckoning, is whether people listen more to what's already being reported and whether Americans decide to do something about it. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.